to share with you today two important stories from one of my teachers. He wrote a book called Piskei Hagrish. It's the Rav Eliashiv, just the translation from Hebrew. One business owner was desperate for a loan to expand his business. So he asked a wealthy friend for help and found that he was willing to lend him the sum he required. But he said, I need to earn the same interest that I'm getting from the wealthy non-Jew who has the money. I know that he has no objection to my withdrawing any sum from the investment, but I cannot lose for doing you the favor. I will gladly match what he is paying you, replied the gratified merchant. Unfortunately, I'm in a rush and do not want to wait a minute longer than absolutely necessary. Can we just draw up a document that you gift me the money on condition that I return it with an extra 20% for the year I require the money? So the wealthy man was unsure, and they decided to consult with a great halachic authority. So the question was presented to Rav Yosef Shalom Eliashiv Zatzal. He ruled, you must have a heter iska, which we're going to discuss in the future. It's basically a special agreement that each person became a partner. Since this suggestion is definitely forbidden, this is clear from the Rashba, and it may be that someone who did this transgressed the Torah prohibition of interest, ribit. There is no question that he has violated the rabbinic prohibition, as we discuss, avak ribit, etc. But we see in this daf, the 69, we find that ribit, the interest, is only forbidden between the lender and the borrower. So again, it's the same book translation that one Haredi man grabbed a cab about 2 hours before Shabbat to a friend's house. When he got there, he saw that he had forgotten his wallet at home and was in a rush to get ready for Shabbat. So when he explained this predicament to the cab driver, the man agreed to wait until after Shabbat for the money. But you need to add a little something for the wait. I'm under duress right now. So the man knew that this host will be able to provide money after Shabbat, but he was afraid to disturb him. He indicated that he agreed, wished the man a good Shabbos, and got out of the car. But over Shabbat, he discussed with his host what he should do. I felt somewhat entrapped by the driver, since I know that the Jew cannot charge me interest, yet what choice did I have? So I wonder if I'm allowed to pay him extra on Sunday, because after all, if he does not get an extra, it will surely be a chilul Hashem, a desecration of name of God. So when this question presented to Rav Yosef Shalom Eliashiv Zatzal, he ruled it is forbidden to give the driver any more than what one will pay the driver for such a trip. Despite the chilul Hashem involved, it is proper for someone else to give the driver the extra money. However, to ensure that there is no chilul Hashem. So today we're on 68b, in the beginning of the shiur. We're just continuing the subject of, we're just using name Reuven and Shimon. Reuven lent Shimon 100K cash, or something valuable, with the assumption that Shimon will sell it for 120. And the Chazal, the sages said that the way it should work, it should be half a loan and half deposit. And then, when Shimon received the deposit, 50, so then he make another K. And the other one is the same thing. It's the profit that the other party have, because half is a loan, half is a deposit. So what you see, Lemaise, in reality, that Shimon is working for Reuven over the 50K loan, and that's the issue of ribit, of interest. Or at least we call it avak ribit de Rabbanan, which is you feel like it's an interest. So the question is, there is here a big disputation. The Rosh is the leader in this disputation, how you treat it, especially when it's come to valuable, not necessarily cash. So we are 68b, 11 lines from the top of the page. Kama izei v'tarnegolin ma'alin. That's just the abbreviation. So the subject we discussed yesterday was paying someone for schar batala, meaning, remember we talked about the cantor, for example? When someone does a job for you and you pay him for not doing other jobs. So here, Tanu Rabbanan, Kamau scharo shel mekabel iska, which means, the sages ask, how much is the wage? What is the minimum amount that the person needs to pay to avoid the issue of taking an interest? So they said, Ben Merubah, Ben Muat, is all depend upon what exactly they agreed in advance, regardless if it's small or large. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Now, if you remember, yesterday we talked about the owner does even a small, minute things that's already considered indirectly payment. So he said here, as example, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, afilu lo tava limo, ela betzir. So even he, like we do here with hummus, right? You put the hummus with the pita and you eat. So it's like you do it together. Velo achal imo ela grogeret. Even he ate like a little dry fig with him. Achat zeu scharo. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer noten lo scharo mishalem, which is he give him the full amount wages as a laborer. That's the first braita. Second, Tanu Rabbanan, אין שמים לא את העזים ולא את הרחלים ולא כל דבר שאינו עושה ואוכל למחצה. You do not have the appraised animal, which is a person may not give his animal to someone else to raise after appraising their worth in exchange for half the profit, למחצה. רבי יוסי ברבי יהודה אומר, שמים את העזים מפני שחולבות. He said that you treated a goat because they produce milk, so therefore the shepherd collect the milk as a payment for his labor. ואת הרחלים מפני שגוזזות ושוטפות ומורטות. And also the sheep, because they are shorn for the wool, and they also have wool removed when they are washed in water, and they are buckled of the wool by means of thorn, and the one who raised them can collect the wool. So what you see here, the milk and wool generate revenue for the one raising them, and this can serve as a wage to avoid the prohibition of rebate, of interest. Ve'et atar negolet, the same thing applies to chicken, mipnei shehi osa ve'ochelet, because the chicken produce eggs, and while they eat, so basically the eggs is a reward for his labor. Now, the way we go is just the way Rashi explained the Mefarshim basic. There is a book called excuse me, Kosa Yeshurot, that he goes differently. He said that the Tanaim disputed also in regards to chicken and egg. So the Gemara asked, Vetana Kamma. They said, and for the first Tana, how does they respond to this claim? Why he prohibited to praise goats in a half? Because the shepherds get the shorn and the milk. So giza v'chalav lo sipek lischar amalo umzono. So that he feels that this not enough to pay for the wage and toil for the animals' food. So he said, so they said, begiza v'chalav kule alma lo pligei. It's not an issue of interest. Everyone agree. Ki pligei be nas yovei vetotrei. They talk about the water left from the milk and they plucking from the goats. Tanak Kamma סבר לה כרבי שמעון בן יוחאי דאמר, נותן לו שכרו, מי שלם? The investor give to one who received this deal, he says full wages, because the water, it's not sufficient for that shepherd. רבי יוסי ברבי יהודה סבר לה כעבורה, דאמר אפילו לא טבל עמו אלא בציר, ציר is like hummus, right? It's a little, ולא אכל עמו אלא גרוגרת אחת, a little dry fig, זהו שכרו. Even small amount of milk, that's sufficient. So it's enough to make the deal happen. So the Rashash and also Rabbeinu Hananel tried to argue that it was a lot of small things that he can collect. For example, when they shear the animals, there's all kind of locations when they shear it that he can take while they're washing it, while they're doing something. So that's enough to remove the issue of rebit. Anyway, Tanu Rabbanan, the third braita. מזכרת אישה לחברתה תרנגולין בשני אפרוחים. A woman may rent out to another woman a chicken those days, right, to sit on the eggs belonging to the renter in exchange for the two of the chicks hatches from the egg. But with regard to אישה שאמרה לחברתה, a woman to say to another, תרנגולי שלי וביצים שליחי, which means the chicken is mine and the eggs are yours, and you and I shall share the chicks, which is my chicken will sit on your egg until the hatch. ואני ואת נחלוק באפרוחים, רבי יהודה מתיר ורבי שמעון אוסר. רבי יהודה allows, רבי שמעון prohibit. So because that's it's considered by him as like a loan. So loan is a rebate, is an interest. If she walks free for the owner of the eggs. Rabbi Yehuda lo ba'e schar amalo umzono. He doesn't have the issue of paying the labor, the work. So how come he's not concerned about the issue of rebate? So they said, Ika beitzim muzarot. Here we talk about unfertilized eggs. So, so that's basically one of them. That's the part of the agreement. She kept it for herself. Tosfot said, Desharu be'achila, כדאמרינן באלו טריפות, you bring a Gemarrah in Chulin 64, ביצים מוזרות נפש היפה תאכלם. So it's like a person who is fastidious, it's a healthy eggs. Just thinking about those people who raise those eggs, those chickens in the home, you see sometimes the eggs are much yellows, right? Mm-hmm. It's a different condition. Anyway.
The shells are thicker.
right. תנו רבנן, מקום שנהגו לעלות שכר כתף למעות לבהמה, here you have a situation that when you're dealing with a small calf, so is extraordinary work. He needs to carry that. מעלין ואין משנין ממנהג המדינה. רבן שמעון בן גמליאל אומר שמין עגל עם אמו ושיח עם אמו, ואפילו במקום שנהגו לעלות שכר כתף למעות. אז לגמור יעז כפי רבן שמעון בן גמליאל וכי רבן שמעון בן גמליאל לא בא שכר עמלו ומזונו, so איכא גללים. So they try to deal with the dung. So it's like he used it for fertilization and things like that. ואידך, why you don't consider it as a שכר כתף? גללים הפקור ומפקיר לו. You assume when it's come to the גללים, he declares the dog ownerless, and he does not consider this important enough to retain. So you can say that it's a proper compensation. Tosfot in פרק אלו מציעות, dealing with the subject of stam glalim adam mafkir, that the person, when it's come to dunk, usually a person declare ownerless. The question is, why here you talk about reward with this? Tosfot explained that Reuven does that on purpose, because he wants to legalize the actions. So in order to avoid, to circumvent the system with the issue of interest, he used that. That's like the reward. Amar Rav Nachman halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda. So meaning that even Shimon gets something, it's enough. Even he did a hummus with him or a little dry fig. Halacha k'Rabbi Yossi bar Yehuda, in the second one, that you can estimate it, those sheep and goats, even the shepherd take only the milk. Halacha k'Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, in the fourth baita, that you estimate the calf with the mother, and the dunk is considering a reward for schar katef, so you don't have repeat. So here we have a story of a business deal, but we derive from that an important message that we allow to have a business deal without paying the schar tircha, the full amount, to one who occupies himself with that. Bnei Rav Ilish nafak alayu ahu shtara. So this is after the father passed away. So it was a business document in regards to the son of Rav Ilish. So by the late father. And the Hav Aktiv Bey that was written there, Palga ba'agar, Palga be'efsed, that if the deal will come true, so they get half, but if the business deal will fall apart, they lose a half. So, but nothing written there that Rav Ilish get a reward for occupying himself with this business. So the one who have the money wants from the heir, from the inheritors, half of the profit from that business deal. Amar Rava, Rav Ilish, Gemarrah Rabbahu. It's not just another person. It's a great man. Ve'isura le'inshei lo havei safei. And he will not feed people with something that it's forbidden. So he will not cause people to sin. So if you take the document literally, so it appears that he agreed to work with no payment for that fellow. So that's issue of rebate, interest. So you have to say that the language of that document, that he have half of the profit and half of the, in case they lose. So Rav Ilish accept upon himself one of the two. Either gets half of the profit or to carry half of the loss. And that was the business deal. Ma nafshach. I palga ba'agar. if you agree upon that the actual condition stated that one party will receive 1/2 of the profit, the other party must have agreed to accept himself, said 2/3 of the loss. So Rav Elish, basically you receive only 1/3. So you talk about 1/3 from the business value. That's basically a loan to Rav Elish, because he's not responsible for the 1/3, but with all said and done, Rav Elish deserves to get 1/2 of the profit, because Ishar Amalo, this is the reward for his labor. Because he was occupied with the other 2/3 of the business that belonged, Rashi said, to the investor, and it's considered as deposit in his hand. I would like to share with you from Rav Steinsaltz, Rav Even Israel Gemarrah, the Korean edition. He basically quoted the Shulchan Aruch Yerodea 172. If a business document specified that one providing the work will receive 1/2 the profits and 1/2 loses, the ruling depends on circumstances. If the one who entered the venture was a great man who would not be suspected of acting improperly, it is assumed that there was a scribal error in the drafting of the document, and that is actually said that he is entitled to 1/2 of the profits, and that the other will cover 2/3 of the losses, or that he is entitled to 1/3 of the profits, and the other party will accept 1/2 of the losses. If the transaction was conducted by ordinary people, it is treated as a document with interest, and the relevant party is responsible for 1/2 that loses, but receive none of the profits. That's basically the way Rashi explains. So they said here, Gemarrah 16:9, Ipalga be'efsed trei tlitei ba'agar. So we said that what Rav Elish said in the document, the late Rav Elish, that he will carry 1/2 of the loss, it means that if Rav Elish wish to carry 1/2 of the loss, so therefore he is entitled to 2/3 of the profits. So what you see, it's all for his effort, that he is occupied in 1/2 of the investment that was a deposit by Rav Elish. Amar Rav Kahana, that's a different avenue to understand it. Amar Rav Kahana אמרית לשמטה קמי דרב זביד מן ההרדעה ואמר לי דילמה רב אליש טובל עמו בציר היה, that he received this payment, or can be other form of payment. ואמר רב נחמן, רב נחמן tell us in page 68b, הלכה כרבי יהודה, that even the one who occupied himself received a small favor, that already paved the way for the business to be kosher, to be okay. So why you need to change the language of the business transaction the way it's written originally in the document? Amar lei, Rav Kahana rejected, and he said, Lav hilcheta itmar, ela shita itmar. So basically the condition is Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosei, his son, and Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, they all go with one single avenue. All have the assumption that when the sages are lenient in this type of unspecified joint venture, and they didn't ask to pay for his effort. Halacha does not follow Rabbi Yehuda, only follow Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, that he said that you do have to pay him. So therefore you cannot explain the story of Rabbi Elimelch the way that you explain, that basically you're allowed to have this type of heter iska by giving a small favor, and he doesn't bother even to mention that in the document, because this type of view is not accepted by halacha. Now, hachenam mistabra dilotema hachi. So it's also, that's the way you understand what Rav Nachman come and included all of them in one view, one shita. Dilotema hachi, just explain the way that it's pshat, that halacha followed this type of conditions. Lama li lemeichshav velemeimar. Why Rav Nachman needs to mention all these three conditions? Halacha, lema halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda demekel mikulu. So he can speak that halacha followed Rabbi Yehuda, that he is the most lenient of all of them, and the rulings can be derived from his. Since Rav Nachman did not state this, it is reasonable to say that he was not issuing a ruling in according to their opinion, but simply clarifying that these three options are actually what? Amarav. Now another avenue to do a business deal without involved in prohibition. So someone take a calf and they bring it to a shepherd to raise it, and they agree between the agreement between them that the shepherd will carry half of the profit and half of the loss. And the owner of the calf said to the shepherd, when this calf will grow up and be more valuable, only what adds to the current value up to 1/3 from now, we divided half. If more, you can carry it. Mutar shlish, bischarcha, harei ze mutar. If he said the superfluous over 1/3 of its current value is your wages, meaning that they will split the profit up to 1/3 of the value of the calf, and any additional profits will belong exclusively to the one who fattened the animal and served as his wages. So they allow. Shmuel disputed that. Shmuel amar lo matza motar shlish yelech lebeito reikan. You mean to say that if he doesn't have 1/3, so he go home and empty-handed, he will have work for free? It's not right. It's interest. So Amar Shmuel kotzetz lo dinar. So the owner of the money set aside dinar for the other. That's basically give him compensation for his effort in this event that there is no superfluous over 1/3. So the Gemara challenge, וסבר רב אין קוצצים לו דינר, ואמר רב ריש עגלה לפתומה, מה אליו דאמר לי מותר שליש בשכרך, לא דקאמר לי מותר שליש, אי ריש עגלה לפתומה. So the idea is that 1/3 or the head of the calf will serve the wages of the father. Another option is בהיתמה כי כאמר רב, מותר שליש בשכרך מותר, כגון דאית לבהמה לדידי, that you have a calf already, דאמרי אינשי, that people used to joke around and said, גבל לתורה, גבל לתורי. So mix food with an ox, mix for oxen, meaning that since he is already has to prepare food for one ox, it's not big inconvenience and expense for him to add food for the additional ox. So the whole idea of superfluous over 1/3 is sufficient to compensate him. So the Shulchan Aruch Yoredea in 174 said, if two people enter into a joint venture and do not specify the conditions, and the investor does not pay labor costs to the manager performing the work, then according to Rambam, if there is profit, the manager gets 2/3 of the profit. But if there is a loss, he suffered only 1/3 of the loss. You see the difference? So according to Rashi, the Rif and the Rosh, the manager received 2/3 of the points, the profits, and if there is lost, he suffered 1/2 of the loss. So this opinion also seemed to be a share with other early commentators, as well as the Shach, the Gra, the Chokhmat Adam, and others. If one receives money from an investor for a joint venture, and he is currently involved in another venue, the investor does not have to pay labor costs, and they divide the profits and loss equally. In addition, it is permitted for the investor to stipulate that the manager will receive 1/3 or any other portion of the profit, and that if there is a loss, they'll each pay half. And if a fee for labor is fixed at the beginning, since the manager has also another venue, even if the wages are minimal, such an arrangement is permitted. So now we have a story of fattening an animal. Rabbi Elazar מהגרוניה זבין בהמה. So it was incident of Rabbi Elazar of Hagronia that he purchased an animal ויהיב לעריסי מפתם לה, and gave it to a sharecropper to fatten the animal. ויהיב לרישי באגרה ויהיב פלגה רבחה. So basically he gave him the head of his wages and gave him 1/2 of the profits. Amar alei David hu, so his wife, the sharecropper's wife, said, אם השתפת בהדי יהיב לך נמי עליתה. If you make a partnership, if you will have participated with him in the purchase of the animal, will have given you the tail also. Azal zven ba'adei palig lemalita. He did it. Amar le tanif li gelerasha, amar le hashta kemikar anamelo. So now you'll also give me you as you did basically initially. Amar le Rabbi Elazar said to him, Ada idnazuze didi havu. Up to this point the money was mine. Why? Because I carry the half of the loss. So it's like half of the money is loan, like a typical business venture. It appears like an interest. Now we are both invested in the, and you didn't borrow from me anything. So your labor is nothing to do with the interest. I put a little more effort. So the ordinary sharecropper subjugates himself to the owner to bring him pasture. So the idea is that sharecroppers are accustomed to expending extra effort on behalf of the owner field. So therefore, we are equal partners and divide everything. So now we're dealing with a business between the owner of the animal and the shepherd. And if time allows, you see that also applies for cab and the owner of the cab and many other practical halachot. תנו רבנן אשם במהלך חברות, מתי חייב לטפל בו? סומכוס אומר באתונות 18 חודש. בגודרות 24 חודש. So the one who appraises an animal for another to raise, how long is the other obligated to care for it if they are not stipulated exactly? So here you see a different view. Sumchus said, when it's come to the female donkeys, it's 18 months. For flax, it's 24 months. ואם בא לחלוק בתוך זמנו, חברו מעכב עליו. Come within the time, which is before the time taking care of the, it ended. So the other can prevent him from doing it. אבל לא דומה טיפולה של שנה זו לטיפולה של שנה אחרת. You cannot compare taking care of an animal this year to the following year, another year. אבל מה היא כאמר? אלא לפי שלא דומה לטיפולה של שנה זו לטיפולה של שנה אחרת. תניא אידם. השם בהמה לחברו, עד מתי חייב לטפל בוולדות? one who appraised an animal for another to raise, how long is the latter obligated to care for the offspring? בדקה 30 יום, בגסה 50 יום. So they said for the species of small animal, it's 30 days. Large, 50 days. רבי יוסי אומר בדקה 3 חודשים. Small is 3 months. מפני שטיפולה מרובה. You need to walk a lot. מה היא טיפולה מרובה? מפני ששיני הדקות. They have a small teeth. מכאן ולך נותן מחצה שלו, מחצה של חברו. Half and a half. רב מנשה בר גדא שקל מחצה שלו וחצי מחצה של חברו. עד לקמא דרביה אמר לי, מה פלג לך? ועוד מקום שגדל לגדלו, ותנאי מקום שנגעו לגדל יגדילו. The place that they will raise by the one who raising the mother and not divided between them. So it's another case of the two Samaritans who enter into a joint venture with each other. So they said, so one of them went and divided the money without the knowledge of the other. It happens in the business world, right? Money is considered as though it were already divided. It is not viewed as a single sum. The next year, the same two purchase wine together. So one of them divided the wine without knowledge of the other. So the Samaritan said to him, I see that the master purchased me in order to harass me, since last year when we came with what appears to be essentially the same case, you gave a different ruling in favor of the other. Rav Papa said, 69b, ki gamna, in this type of case that you suspected the judge that he show favor the other party, but you need to explain why. Usually you don't need to say the mukher yourself, but here, since suspected, you should do it. So they said, Zuze mishakil tabe v'shavik chasri, amar le chamra lekul al mayadedi kade basin bikad lo basin. When it's come to wine, people know that what is sweet and what is not sweet. So it's not equatable to simply divide the barrels evenly. So therefore a rule that you were not entitled to divide the wine without your partner's knowledge. How exactly? Rav Nachman said money, so considered divided. Rav Chamma, hava moger zuze b'pshita liyoma. So they said he was renting zuzim in exchange of this wine in a daily basis. So it means that he rent out dinars as the rate for 1/8 of the dinar per day for a dinar. He views that the rental of an item for use rather than the loan. So they said, Kalu zuzeh de Rav Chamma, hu savar eshna mimara velo imara hadra be'enav yadia pchati. Zuzeh hadra be'nayu velo yadia pchati. So Omar Rava, Shari, I'm reading soon the halacha, I'm just first reading the Gemarrah. Marava Shari le'inish le'meid mar le'lechavri, helach arba'a zuzeh v'osfe לפלניה זוזי, לא אסרה תורה לריבית הבאה מלווה למלווה, והמרב אשר לאיניש לממר לחברי, שתקיל לך הבאה זוזה ואמור לפלוני לאוזפן זוזה, אם הייתה מסחר אמירה כשקל. כי עד אבא ברמר ברי דרב פאפה אבא שקיל וגנר דייקיר המקראי. ואמר אליו אוספין הזוזה, ואמרו לרבנה לרב פאפה אכל ברי דמר בריביתה. אמר לי, כי כל ריבית הנכול לא אסרה תורה לריבית הבאה מלווה למלווה, החסר אמירה, payment for talking kashakel v'shari. So, few halachot. Shulchan Aruch Yoredea 176. It is prohibited for one to rent out money at a fixed amount per month, as this is considered interest. Nevertheless, it is permitted to rent out money if the renter does not spend it, but rather use this money in some other fashion or in order to sin with it. and then returns it as is. Some authorities said that lender accepts full responsibility for loss due to theft or accidents, then it is permitted to rent out the coins, and it is not considered interest. That's the Rambam Ilchot Malveh Veloved chapter 5, and as we said, the Ramah on Shulchan Aruch Yoreh De'ah 176.